So once again, in verse 1, once again, we're seeing a window into the secret of Paul's passion and fruitfulness for Christ. Now, can you see the secret of why Paul was so powerfully used in his passion and his fruitfulness? Paul is saying here, he's saying this in verse 1. He's saying, because my earthly body is just a tent. It's just a tent. It's temporary. It's transient. Kind of comes and goes. He says the worst thing that can happen to me is the tent is pulled down. Meaning the worst thing that can happen to me is that I die. And if that's the worst thing that can happen to me is that my tent is taken down, well, that's not so bad. That's what he's saying, because it's just a tent. That's not really who I am. The reality of my resurrection body that is to come, he's like, that's not such a big deal. I can die, but then actually I begin to live. If the tent is pulled down, when the tent is pulled down, loved ones, it makes way for the glory of God's house that is then promised for me. So a Christian funeral is sad for us. It is not sad for that person, okay? You do not have to feel bad for the believer in Jesus Christ who passes away, because as they die, they begin to live. This is the whole point of this text. Paul's like, don't feel sorry for me, man. If the tent is gone, life is about to really start to live. So loved ones, what's mind-boggling then, what should be mind-boggling to every believer in this room right now, what's mind-boggling then, understanding the nature of the tent, human body, how much emphasis the world puts on the tent. It should be mind-boggling to believers. Think of all the attempts to dress up the tent, to beautify the tent, to support the tent, to remodel the tent, to decorate the tent. Think about that. But just remember, for the love of God, honestly, for the love of God, it's just a tent. We got to remember that. It's just a tent. It's a tent.